1 year ago, we bought 6 acres of abandoned land and an uninhabitable 1880s stone cottage in the Irish countryside. We took a leap of faith, spending our life savings on a property that, curiously, no one else wanted. Trading in comfort and certainty, we took a chance on a new way of life. We had no experience, no homesteading skills. In this video, we're going to show you everything we've created and built during our first year of turning this abandoned land into our off-grid Irish homestead as a family of 3. The tears, joys, hardships, mishaps, all of it. Our story starts on the 2nd of January 2023 when we rolled our camper van off the France to Ireland ferry and hit the road towards our new home and new lives. Excited, a bit nervous, and utterly unprepared for the overwhelm that was about to hit us when the reality of what we'd done fully set in.
I thought for a long time that it wouldn't even be possible. And we're here.
Let's take a look at what we'd actually bought. But first, if you're new around here, we're Corrie and Kayvan, and in 2023 we sold our house in the UK, left the rat race, pulled our daughter out of school and went travelling around Europe for 6 months in our camper van before arriving in Ireland at our new home. So here's what our life savings bought us in rural Ireland. We have a bit over 6 acres of land split into these 2 fields by the cottage. We have a hill that we promptly named Hillary, a smaller area at the bottom of the hill, and then up the back at the top of the hill, 2 fields there. But we'll get into more about the land, the state it was in, and why no one else wanted it a little bit later. Next, let's take a look at our stone cottage, which had been abandoned partway into a renovation and had sat untouched, uninhabited for several years. We have 3 main rooms on the ground level. Upstairs we have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom which was not plumbed in, so was not usable. No heating, several windows that don't close, snazzy paint colours, vast swathes of pine cladding in places, and upstairs, inexplicably, rubble under the carpet. So there we were, newly arrived in the Irish countryside in the cold of January. And that's when the overwhelm set in. We had bought some so far unusable land that we hadn't even looked around yet, and a cold house we couldn't move into. We knew no one. We didn't have any toilet facilities, no power, no water, no internet, and really nowhere to live. There was nothing we could do but plough ahead and start solving some of our problems.
Just out exploring our own land today. We haven't yet walked the entire 6 acres, so Kayvan has been clearing paths for a couple of days straight now, and finally we get to walk the whole thing. There he is, man of the hour. Ireland's new national treasure. If they don't know it yet. Beating your own path in life.
Forging a path to the barn.
Yeah.
I don't think the barn's been accessed for about 20 years.
After the excitement of having explored our land finally for the first time, we also found this, an old cow shed or cow barn that had been tucked away under a load of foliage. We had no idea it was there.
Can I keep my cow in here?
The next on our list, we needed to sort out our water problem, and there was nothing for it but to dig a well. So we had this impressive equipment show up on site, and we were finally off-grid for water, which was really exciting. Another thing off the list. And that's when we had to turn our attention to our living situation. We had spent 6 months travelling around Europe quite happily in our camper van, but life in the Irish countryside in winter in our camper van was starting to get to us. It wasn't a long-term solution. We were having to leave regularly to dump the toilet facilities, to fill up our water tank, to recharge the batteries, to do laundry. It was putting a ton of strain on us, so we hopped on a plane back to the UK, hit up our storage facilities so that we could get tools so Kayvan could actually get on with some things with some proper equipment.
It's all about having the right tools. It's like a comedy micro axe.
I feel like I'm chopping at it with my like karate kid.
and picked up what we hoped would take the pressure off of our living situation, and it was this caravan.
This is going to be interesting.
For your viewing pleasure, please enjoy this short interlude of us trying to navigate this caravan down our extremely steep driveway.
Han, that's the bottom corner of the caravan there, catching on the hill.
With water, power and a loo, we didn't have to drive a 2-hour round trip to dump every 3 days. Little by little, life was feeling less overwhelming. And with our immediate and basic needs met, we were able to turn our attention to starting our homestead, which was really exciting for us, but proved to be far more challenging than we'd ever imagined. We decided to focus our homestead development first on this field being the flattest and receiving the most sunshine, a decision we'd later come to regret.
Here we are, 3 days before the 8 point of lay pullets hens turn up. In true my life fashion, it seems an appropriate level of madness that the first house that we're working on is not our own, but it's for the hens. I'm going to turn this little mound of 2x4 and timber and some chicken wire and some run flat wheels. I'm going to turn it into a chicken coop, so at least the chickens will have a home, even if we don't.
I want to be a farmer.
After manhandling the base of the chicken tractor up Hillary, Kayvan just managed to finish assembling it in time for the arrival of our laying hens. We'd made 2 mistakes already. 1, not constructing the moving chicken coop roof out of corrugated metal, which promptly tore off in the next storm. And 2, we thought we'd let the hens settle in by not bothering them too much, and consequently, they hate to be handled now.
Hello, sir. We did it. We got chickens.
Some chickies.
10 years I've wanted chickens.
Our first homesteading lessons under our belt, we set to work creating our first vegetable garden. And that's when we fully realised the reason that no one else wanted this land. Most of it is only accessible by foot up this steep, narrow path. And so Kayvan spent seemingly the whole of March lugging compost up the hill.
What a day, all day to get to the point of this. 15 bags of grit sand. It's probably not even going to touch the sides, but I've got to fork it in. I've got to try and improve matters at this swamp. So garden update. We have 2 beds half built. So we've got our perennial bed, which has been a no dig. We've got 10 asparagus crowns planted in there at the minute. And then we've got our second bed. So the potatoes, carrots, turnips are going in here, some cabbage, some onions, some leek.
Hello. What are you doing? Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4 varieties of potatoes.
Potatoes! Yay! That is a staple crop I can get behind.
New trowel.
Gotta have a new tool. Let me see. Are you wearing the high vis because you have to be safe when using a new tool? How does it feel to be actually planting something? Something that we might be able to eat this year, not within 3 years, like the asparagus.
Before long, we had our first eggs and life started feeling great, and I cooked up a storm in our caravan, even hosting a tea party for our daughter's birthday. We set up these composting bins so that we could get that going and underway, and started a myriad of seedlings for our newly prepared vegetable beds. The hens were thriving, the eggs were bountiful, the sun started shining, things were looking up on our homestead. And we'd even replaced that chicken coop roof to something more durable. Our potatoes were starting to flourish, and we turned our attention finally to the cottage. First on the jobs list for Kayvan was drilling up this concrete floor that had been laid throughout the ground floor level of the house, creating a lot of dust, a lot of noise, and a lot of rubble.
High vis on. Another potato attending is in action. Got to wear the high vis.
Oh, it's always cold and windy in Ireland, so, you know.
Never to be too safe. Digger, no PPE whatsoever. Potatoes, I suppose you don't have your ear defenders on.
Gardening is a dangerous pursuit.
This is not supposed to be lying on its side. Sorry, plant babies.
Actually, Natasha, leaf.
Yes, please.
Wild rocket, some parsley, some basil, spinach. Look at our massive radish!
Oh, awesome!
As summer progressed, we became more and more delighted by our first harvests. To eat our own vegetables, herbs and eggs felt like such a luxury, and nothing short of magical to us as newbie homesteaders. The most we'd managed to grow previously was some spinach.
All our spuds. So we've got 4 or 5 different varieties. A few ornamentals like on the end. We've got some, what's that, borage?
I think so, yeah.
So that's a little dwarfy one, but look at these beasts.
They're absolutely amazing, aren't they?
It says everything it needs to itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a real shame we don't have smell-o-vision, because there are some amazing fragrances coming out of here. Marigolds are really pungent. The dill is smelling absolutely fantastic. Loving it. We got some basil, we got some parsley, and we got some perennial herbs. We got some sage, we got some thyme, we've got some salad leaves.
Makes me so happy.
Look at that beauty! First carrot, absolute beauty.
I'm gonna make pesto with their carrot tops as well.
Oh, it smells so good.
Does it? Do you know what it smells like?
What does it smell like?
Carrot. Like a really carroty carrot. Mmm, impressive fronds.
From our own garden.
Nice.
$65. Oh yeah, steaming up the lens. Lovely, that's what I like to see. So that's one pile. Let's have a quick look at the second pile. Yep, over 60. Beautiful, that's what I like to see. First hot compost pile success.
Spurred on by our success, we even started preparing to expand our growing space for next year. Meanwhile, Kayvan took a quick trip to the UK to buy a truck and bring over our belongings.
Here we are after a full day of loading the transporter. Turned up at the 20-foot container, so I've got to somehow squeeze the remainder of that into the remainder of this. Fun times.
How do you feel?
Might die.
Please don't die.
Trying to bring more than 7 tons on wheels down this almost vertical incline without crashing or flying off the ledge at the end.
Is that your clutch?
Yeah.
I love the smell of clutch in the morning.
Can you see how full it is?
Yeah, well, I've got to get ready, but yeah.
Told you. 2 days of Jenga and Tetris.
Oh my god. Well done, sweet.
Let's close that back up. That's for
Yeah,
another
but
day.
let's just put the lid back on that can of worms, shall we?
Let's brush some of that rubble under this carpet.
Inside the cottage, more rubble clearing, and then some life-changing news.
What you got there?
I've got the results of 6 months worth of research and documenting. This is the letter to tell us that, touch wood, fingers crossed, this is the letter to tell us hopefully that we've been approved for the £50,000 vacant home grant. Dear Mr Javid, I can confirm that the above property has been approved for the vacant property refurbishment grant £50,000. Hey, €50,000.
Yay!
We hit our summer stride and we're seemingly progressing on all fronts, turning our attention to preparing the 2 fields closest to the cottage for our next homesteading efforts. In addition to undertaking a side quest to have this hard standing built for my office cabin, and inside the cottage, more undoing questionable previous reno work.
Hello.
That is like so sketchy. It's like a massive gap.
No, nothing holding up this big wall.
I feel safe.
Right, so that is the lounge cleared. Thank goodness. It's a lot less dusty in here. A lot less concrete in here. Horrible job, not enjoying it, but it needs to be done.
We get asked a lot, why Ireland? Why did we decide to move here specifically? Do we have family connections to the area? Did we spend a lot of time here as kids? Did we think about moving anywhere else instead? Why on earth couldn't we just start a homestead in the UK? If you've been one of the people wondering the answer to these questions, then what you want to do is check out this secret video that we recorded to answer all of that, because why Ireland isn't just a quick answer. So that's why we recorded a super cozy video in my cabin. If you want to get your hands on it, you can unlock it for free. There's a link in the description. We'll also pin a comment. And when you sign up for that video, why did I decide to record this whilst walking up the side of Hillary? When you sign up for that video, you will also get yourself on our email list. So we send out a really fun email newsletter update every week, more or less, behind the scenes from the homestead, from the renovation, share things like recipes if you see me making stuff and other stuff going on. It's a really fun way of connecting with you between our videos.
After a blustery and wet Irish summer, autumn came with warmth, stunning sunsets and vast quantities of blackberries. It felt like balm to the soul, so we put the weather to good use, having our most productive season on our off-grid Irish homestead so far. Cayman set to work building my office cabin,
Like a glove.
It's basically just Lego.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
That's my man. Building me stuff. So happy with it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like alien in size.
Wow. Absolute beasts.
Useful learning experience, a great experiment with all of these plants, none of which I've ever grown before. So anything near this success and magnitude in the future beds, I'll be a happy man.
Yay! Wow. Look at that. It doesn't get old. Growing things from seed does not get old. Look at that. What a beaut.
I don't really know how we're going to make 4 more new beds like this.
Not bag by bag.
I'm already sick of it.
Yeah. Got all of this space to fill.
First Swede!
Whoa.
Look at that! And
What else you got?
look at the size of that monster!
He's a fat boy, isn't it?
Wide boy! That is one impressive carrot.
It is an impressive carrot. And you've been keeping safe in your high vis, so that's always
Absolutely.
reassuring for
Most
me
important.
to know.
Got to keep safe when you're harvesting your rutabaga.
Those 2 fields we spent late summer preparing were now to be home to 2 rescue ponies we are fostering indefinitely.
Are you living your best life? Your best pony life?
Of course.
Is it every bit as good as you thought it might be?
Even better.
Aww. Are you staying in the field with them tonight?
Of course. Just gonna sleep right here.
Night then.
It feels like such a blessing to be in the position to both give these ponies a home and enable our daughter to live out a dream she's had for so many years now. She is still keen to have a riding horse at some point, but we're not ready for all that quite yet, nor do we have the cash to fund it with the renovation going on. So having these 2 companion ponies feels like a great first experience of horse ownership and everything that it involves. We spent hours that autumn trying to solve some of our renovation dilemmas. And we prepared for winter by moving our fridge and freezer out of the truck and into part of the house, where we also set up a gym so we can stay fit and sustain ourselves and these twin projects of renovating and homesteading. And we're going to need those muscles because we had yet more materials to haul.
One of the reasons no one wanted to buy this land, we think, is because there's no access to our top fields, actually most of our land. We will be improving the situation at some point, but you know, it's just one of those things when you are renovating a cottage and trying to establish an off-grid homestead at the same time. It's a juggling act of jobs and priorities and finances and all of the things, and for now it's just good old-fashioned hard work. You can just casually bring one up as if you've been doing any. That's not fair.
1001.
Back inside the cottage, I finally found time to help, or try to, before we made a worrying discovery.
Kayvan's just finished taking the last of the boards and the ceiling down. We've got a bit of a worrying discovery. Should we be wearing hard hats?
Well, I think that's a possibility anywhere in this house. So where the staircase goes through the first floor ceiling, the joists seem to be just kind of hanging. There's nothing supporting those joists up there. But the joists that are cut off for the actual staircase itself are kind of just a little bit floaty.
Not literally braced at all.
We then made matters worse by doing this.
It was propping up that precarious ceiling.
Yes, it was holding up the ceiling. Yeah.
Stairs are supposed to hold up the ceiling, right?
Finally, the sandblasters arrived to take the paint off the cottage inside and out, and we said goodbye to that salmon pink. And after days of constant noise, they were finally done. We had just 2 more homesteading jobs to complete while the weather was still decent. First, setting up the new electrical fencing to create new and movable paddocks for the ponies.
And bada bing, you're ready to unreel. That. Why have you taken your gloves off? What's the point? Just carrying gloves with you. And now the earth post. Got our battery box. Got our earth post. Got our electrified reel starting post. Plug it in. What are you doing, dude? So that's the earth connected. You electrify the reel by plugging it into very, very tight. Only just. Now, what we'll do is we'll unreel it. As we go along, we'll pop the posts in, and then we'll work our way around. That height is good. It's got a high.
Lower.
Lower.
You can duck under that.
Is that good?
Yeah. Got a new place to play. Oh yay, Gavin. Oh yay. Is that nice? Yes. That's so exciting.
They're like, yeah.
Some nice grass. You get hungry, haven't you?
And finally, getting one last growing bed set up and working very much against the clock.
By what? By 11 point.
4. 1.4 by 11.5.
So 1.5 by 12 centimetre bed, which is exactly as planned, right?
Typical man rounding up when it comes to length.
11.5 by 1.4.
I don't know if that's an appropriate joke in front of your daughter.
She didn't listen.
There's going to be 4 rows of garlic in this 1.5 metre bed. We've got to shift this stuff into here and then plant our garlic. Simples.
As the rain sets in.
Yeah, that's all right. Moist ground, make it nice and easy, right?
Bed is ready. We've got 8 varieties to plant. How many cloves approx?
300.
300 cloves to get in the ground. 3 of us, there's 100 each, and we've got about 45 minutes until it is pitch black. Wish us luck. We did it. We did it on the ground.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of a digger. I don't think I've ever been so happy to hear a digger in the background before in my life.
At last we'd started the groundworks, and then this happened. With winter's strong and sudden arrival, we dealt with snow and storms and the reality of a winter on a homestead, trying to renovate a cottage, all while living in a caravan fully set in.
Well, for a place that rarely freezes, Zone 10, it's turned into a early winter wonderland. So, 2 days into the big dig, and well, yeah, it's forecast to get pretty chilly today. By about 8 or 9 p.m. it's going to be -1, -2 Celsius, and it's going to stay there for a few hours, and then overnight it's going to warm up again. So it looks like it's going to pass reasonably quickly, but this morning is a nice early Christmas treat. Not prepared for this, are we?
No.
The pony's locked away now, yeah?
Yeah.
You give them the grain?
Yeah.
Okay, too cold to stand here.
Okay, let's go. One of the challenges of, shall we say, inclement weather is that this is the door to the caravan, and we just arrive in our wet gear, dripping on the floor. There's no like buffer between you, your wet, muddy, snowy gear, and the living space.
So there is one problem with all of this rain and the ponies stomping about in the areas where the water collects. It turns into an absolute bog. Yeah, we are already ankle deep in some of this place.
Oh my goodness, look, it's nearly to the top of my wellies. Oh no. This is what K-Van would call unideal. How's that wind working out for you?
Well, we're still here.
We're still here. Just one winter.
Just one winter.
You're alive then.
Yeah, the roof on your cabin is moving in a scary amount. Might need to go give it some emergency bracing.
No. You need help with that.
What are you going to do, sit on it?
Other than on the worst weather days, we have no choice but to press on with our groundworks throughout winter, sorting out drainage, services and ground source heating for this old cottage, and trying to make sure that we don't have to endure a second winter in the caravan.
Yeah. Do a pull-up. Now you're just showing off.
What a year it's been! We've worked harder and pushed ourselves more than ever before in our lives and experienced deeper joy and satisfaction than we'd ever thought possible. And probably laughed harder than we have in our previous 14 years of marriage. But this first year is only really the beginning of this off-grid homestead, because now we turn our attention to the next year. One thing we do hope is that you'll be along for the ride with us.